Hi, everybody, and welcome to another episode of the United States of a Movie podcast. We're the movie podcast that makes every Monday a fun day as we get together and we talk movies. But we have a point here at the United States of a Movie as we are trying to find one movie to define each state in these United States. This week, we stop off in the state of Ohio, a state we have been to before, a state where our current champion is... No, Ohio's fucking where we're going next week, isn't it?
Yeah, I was going to say, like, you already just skipped right past.
I loved it. You should have jumped in. Fuck.
Keep it going.
This episode's a disaster on every level.
Do it again. God damn it. Next time, just jump
keep it in. Who cares?
Yeah.
These movies are so forgettable. Ollie forgot what state we were in.
All right. You know what? We're keeping it in because you know what? You are not wrong because we're stopping off in New Hampshire.
Really set the tone.
Yeah. No, it's absolutely... It just works, actually, in retrospect, because, yes, we're stopping off in the state of New Hampshire. Ohio is where we're going next time. Our current champion is Jumanji. And this week, well, I don't know, guys, we kind of sort of swung for the fences a little bit. We went with a movie we'd never heard of, with quite an impressive cast that had nominations for Oscars, directed by the director of Butch and Sundance. Yeah. And we also went with an early sort of noughties, again, respected director, kind of a bit edgy, sort of sequel to a famous movie. And we're like, let's give it a go. And wow. We
dropped the ball.
Wow.
We really
swung for the fence and we smashed into it face first.
We got what's eating Gilbert Garp, so that's what happened.
Yeah, man, I tell you, ladies and gents, this is going to be a week where we do not recommend these movies, and we're going to warn you off a couple of absolute clunkers. Ryan, why don't you introduce one of the movies that we're talking about?
Was it? I forget what year it was. 95? No,
isn't it 82 or something like that?
Oh, I was gonna say.
I think that's your joke. Is it was the 90s, but it really wasn't.
Yeah.
No, I was gonna introduce Rules of Attraction.
Oh,
God,
that's 2002.
Oh, see,
still not the 90s.
That's the early 90s.
No, Garp was 93, I think.
82. I've got the. Trust me. That's the one thing I do know.
We are so back.
Oh man.
Yes. Okay. What is it? Yes. Let's talk about The Rules of Attraction, 2002. It describes itself as a black comedy drama. I think it's full of white people. It's not funny, and it's not all that dramatic. So,
and it is deeply troubling. Yeah.
It's a very white movie. It's directed by Roger Avery, based off the Bret Easton Ellis novel. And it's like, okay, all right, cool. Wow, Roger Avery, Bret Easton Ellis, okay. And it stars James Van Der Beek, and I remember the whole thing being Ed Dawson, but he's dark. Shannon Sossamon, who we love. Ian Somerhalder, Jessica Biel, Kate Bosworth, Kit Pardew. It did all right. It was a $2 million movie that made like $11 million, and we're like, oh, yeah. And I remember that I had seen this movie. I saw it in theaters.
Wow.
I was like, and I remember going, all right, yeah, man, look, ooh, edgy movie. And I was like, I'm in like 21 or something like that. I was just, basically just first year of uni, and I'm going to go watch this movie. Hadn't seen it since then. Kind of realized why. Though I think as a 20-year-old that I was like trying to find edgy movies, I was like, I think this movie was kind of weird.
It's the definition of an edgy movie. We've brought this up before. It's like such a movie someone would have on a DVD in their dorm room next to like Donnie Darko.
Right.
Like it was just a unique type of film for its time. And I probably also haven't seen it in a really long time. And watching it again with fresh eyes was like, oh man, I remember really enjoying it, but now I'm just not so sure. And I even thought like, if you just slap a fucking produced by A24 logo at the beginning of this thing, you could release this movie today and people would lose their fucking minds.
I just feel like it was trying too hard.
Yeah.
All the time. James Van Der Beek is trying too hard to be dark. He's just always there with that kind of weird look on his face. Like Roger Avery is just trying too hard. Like, we're going to start off at the end and then we're going to rewind and everything's going to be going backwards.
I liked all the backwards stuff.
Me too. But it's like, but even the credits are going to go backwards. And it's like, it's just...
It's a product of its time for sure.
But it was like trying to be edgy. And that because of just how the movie began. And I know because Will was texting And it's like from that point on, they just put a bad taste in Will's mouth, and it stayed there. So Will, why don't I'm going to pass the ball to you. You unleash, my friend, unleash.
Yeah, this is yeah, you guys are right with this trying to be edgy. This is the movie equivalent of a youth pastor who's trying to tell a dirty joke. It just comes off as awkward, it's creepy, you don't want anything to do with them. It's just super off-putting. Yeah, the movie starts with a date rape, with a assault, homosexual assault, and
An
that's
implied gangbang.
an implied gangbang. So it's really one of the most unpleasant starts to a movie I've ever seen.
I mean, it made me want to go to college, so I don't guess.
Right.
Yeah, this is and I was telling you guys beforehand, it's really quite telling that American Psycho is the more palatable, more enjoyable movie of the two, despite the fact that that one is about a chainsaw murderer who works at Wall Street. Like, I would much rather watch that movie than this.
I
Like,
know, and it's a different type of stylization too. Like that, there's something timeless about that movie, and it's set in the '80s. Like it's still watching it today still holds up pretty well.
yeah,
Whereas this, you're just like, oh, it's such a product of like the early 2000s
It
edge
is that.
cinema.
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's like, and it in a way that, like, when you say you're so right about one that American Psycho a million times over this one, but it's like that sort of timelessness. It's just, this is so dated.
Yeah.
It's just, it's so trying to be at that time of like, no, we don't make movies like that anymore. We make movies like this, and it's so clearly, I've said it before. It's got that element of Quentin Tarantino changed cinema in a way, but at a time when everyone's trying to do it. And it's like, and it's before they realize that what Quentin Tarantino does is he writes really good dialogue, in these like bonkers movies. Yeah. But it's like, that's actually where it's not the stylization.
I mean, I can commend him for trying to like take all of these like little vignette stories and weave them together in this way, and how it all fits within this college. So I still enjoy this movie, but I don't disagree with what you're saying.
Yeah, I mean, so to give a sort of basis of the plot, you've basically got James Van Der Beek, who plays Sean Bateman, who is technically the younger brother of Patrick Bateman, who was played by Casper Van Dien, but cut from the movie. He's a drug dealer. You've got Shannon Sossamon, who's like saving her virginity for her boyfriend, Victor. But like I said, it starts with her basically being raped while unconscious. And she's just totally blasé about it, by the way. Ian Somerhalder, who is like bisexual and trying to explore his bisexuality, and he kind of wants to bang James Van Der Beek. Shannon kind of wants to bang James Van Der Beek. I don't know why. And it just, and then we get Victor comes in halfway through, who I must admit, I do like.
Best character, yeah.
Kip Pardue. Well, he's the second best character. The best character is the guy that screams "Dick." Dick, with Faye Dunaway.
Oh, yeah.
Dick.
Yeah, he was very funny.
I completely forgot that guy was in this movie until you just said it.
But like, it's sort of, it starts there at the end, and then takes us back to the beginning of the year, and it tells this story. And it's, like I said, it's being so clever, because even I spotted like, oh, that's that girl. I bet that's the girl sending legs, because I didn't remember the movie. And
you see her at the very beginning.
Like, you see it all through the movie. I saw it like 4 times, and it did the clever
They show
reveal.
you at the end, yeah.
And I saw her every time. This isn't very clever.
Yeah, James Van Der Beek is getting like love letters in his school mailbox, and he thinks it's Shannon Sossamon's character, but it turns out it's not, and it does not go great.
It's food service girl, who's played by actually quite a famous musician and singer.
She was in a band with, I think, Shannon Sussman's character.
Well, they were roommates, I believe.
Oh, okay.
But she was, she's got in this band. But and that's it. I've basically given you the plot of the movie. Everything else in between is just people sucking. Whether it be Jessica Biel, she was great as just like a really just sort of just like, just so cliche in a way. But a
slut, you could say it.
Right, but like, and just in every way. Yeah, the bit where she walks in and she goes, she does the entire football team kind of thing. You've got, Eric Stoltz as like because he works
fucking
with
creep.
Yeah, well, he's just playing a great creep. Yes, you got Fred Savage, as a
playing a clarinet or
yeah,
something.
while doing heroin.
Yeah.
Jay Baruchel turns
My
up.
dick, my dick. There are moments in this I still think are fun, like or funny, I should say, that just brought back the memories of watching this movie a lot back then.
But like,
Yeah,
it's
Jay
just
Baruchel.
well, like I say, I mean, Will, I want you just keep
Uh,
going. Just
it-
like
it- yeah, it's just I think what bothers me about it is I definitely knew a lot of people like this in high school and college. Like this reminds me of a lot of people that I didn't like and I didn't want to hang around. And it's like the movie somehow found all those people and put them in one movie.
Yeah.
And so I'm just everybody sucks. Shannon Sussman, like she's probably the most likable character, but it's definitely it feels like a guy writing this
Oh
girl.
yeah.
Like it does not feel like a real woman who's ever
I
existed.
did like her reading her giant chlamydia book to
Yeah.
like
to save
neutralize herself from
Yes. Anytime
wanting
she was
sex.
tempted
I
to have sex, she's just
I
looking at a
yeah.
book of
I
all
can
these sexually
appreciate
transmitted diseases.
yeah.
Mhm.
I can appreciate Clifton Collins Jr.'s character as the drug guy that James Vanderbeek's character gets his drugs from, who's just so weirdly unhinged.
Just insane. By the way, I've met him in real life at the Guillermo del Toro did like at his
Oh,
star ceremony, and he was there and he talked to all of us for like 10, 15 minutes, and like super nice guy, like
yeah.
just nicest dude. But yeah, he's like he funny enough, he comes off the best in this movie, like someone who's
Yes.
actually playing like a real character who's
Mhm.
psycho and just so I think that's funny. But
Mhm. Well, I think the reason his character kind of works is that his character is trying so hard to be an edgy drug dealer. You
right.
know what I mean? But like he plays that really well. I will agree that when he's in the movie, he's a good sort of like he's a good character, he's a good antagonist, like and he did pretty
Yeah.
well. There's that bit where he's kind of like monologuing to the camera.
Hmm.
It's done like POV, like you're
Yeah.
looking right at him, he's talking down the camera kind of vibe. And I was
He
like, all
says
right, yeah.
motherfucker every other word.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
It's and the other thing about Jason Vanderbeek, who I do think is good in the movie. I was reading some of the behind the scenes, I guess, because he was filming Dawson's Creek at the same time. They didn't have a lot of time with him,
Mm.
so I think he's as good for as much time as he had to invest in this character. But when you hear that the original actor they had in mind was James Franco, man, does that take like a much darker turn.
It's
It's
funny,
like
like I
it
didn't
elevates the movie. Yes.
Yeah.
I didn't yeah, it becomes a documentary. Yeah.
Right.
I didn't think he was bad in this movie at all. In
No,
fact,
no, I don't think
He's
he's
not
bad.
bad. No.
I think like casting I didn't really watch Varsity Blues or Dawson's Creek but I know he was like that type of character, and I like
Mhm.
that it was they were playing against type in this for him. I like the bit when he's fucking unhinged and him and Henry Rowan Gardner escape the fucking drug den
Mhm.
in his
Mhm.
car, and he fucking freaks out and then throws him his keys and spits in his car. It's great.
Yeah.
But he was just a good fucking dickhead in this movie.
Yeah. No, I don't.
But
I don't
everyone
disagree.
is so unlikable. Like everyone
Right.
is so unlikable, and it makes the movie by proxy also very unlikable.
Yes, I guess it's like, you're very much kind of like there's no redeeming characters.
You
So
feel gross watching
you
it.
do.
Like,
You feel
Yeah.
gross watching it. You feel gross at the end of it. No one's learned any
yeah.
lessons. Like I said, the thing that bothers me the most is just how blasé Shannon's character is about the fact that, like, after saving herself, she then got raped and vomited on by a stranger while being videoed by this
Yeah.
guy, and she's just so, oh, what a day. And
The
I'm
guy
like,
she was talking to, Laura's like, she's like, let's go smoke weed, and then
yeah,
she passes out, and it's someone else while the guy
yeah.
that she was talking to is filming it.
It's and it's just and that, and that's what I mean is like
It's
because
fucked up, man.
even as I was watching, I was like, oh, Will's not gonna like this because then it sort of stops with like the guy vomiting on her, and it's like, oh, that's her character introduction, and
But
it's
then
like,
but then it's funny because it reverses the film and it goes back up and oh, isn't that a funny visual get? That's where they got the idea for Tenant.
I mean, it is a funny gag. Like, vomit going back into someone like Mr. Show did a bit about that called Upsy Daisy, where it's
Well,
like,
yeah, that's
it's
that was
pretty funny. It's pretty funny, but subject matter wise, it's very troubling.
Yeah, it's and yeah, it's just one of these. Like I said, unpleasant comes to mind. The the big thing I think everybody, like most people know from this movie is that like how long is it, 5 minute montage scene of Victor, like that's what everybody remembers from this movie because that was supposed to be the movie, right? Like
Well,
wasn't
no,
that?
no. I tell you, that's what's actually. I'm glad you brought that up. I wanted to talk about that because, like,
Yeah.
the weird thing about this movie is that yes, that is the most interesting part of the movie. It's, I think, one of the best bits of the movie. It's the most compelling sort of part as well because it's one. They didn't have the budget, so the director funded that himself, and he followed Kit Pardue around Europe with a camera, keeping him in character and all this kind of stuff, right? But then it's what it's got is this mythical status of a few people have actually seen the feature-length version of that.
He shows it like privately in the catacombs of somewhere, right? Like,
yeah, and so that's what I mean is like the best thing about this movie is not the movie.
It's the mystery behind
it's the mystery behind the little scene that happens.
It's
because
called Glitterati or Glamorama. It's one or the other.
I was waiting for that scene to turn up, and like, and then I'm watching it again, and I'm like going, "Wow, Kit Pardue, you lucky bastard." You know, he just like, what did it? Well, for this movie, I'm honestly, I just spent a whole bunch of time
dropped a bunch of acid and
doing drugs with the director in a bunch of really great European countries and having sex with a bunch of models. Terrible experience.
Yeah, the things they do for art.
Isn't that basically your story before you moved to?
Essentially.
Except for the bunch of models and
right. No,
pretty much. Yeah, just put it in Asia and it's pretty much.
I was just like, it was just me in an alleyway, just just hung over.
Actually,
other than that, exactly the same.
All I actually did was do acid once, and I just hallucinated all the rest of it. I just
there you go.
It was a scene from Friendship. I just went to a subway.
Yes. I ordered. But yeah, I remember like that is such an iconic scene from whomever's seen this movie. Like that's the one thing that really stands out. Yeah, even watching it again now, the way it's edited, because it really is. It's I don't even
frenetic.
I don't even think it's 5 minutes long, but even like the dialogue, it's so snappy, the way he's describing everything, and the way it ramps up and gets faster and faster and culminates to a terrorist attack, and then just smash cuts back to them in the diner talking about it.
Yeah, like it's that is like I said, it's really good. Yeah. It's I mean, honestly, instead of watching this movie, ladies and gents, just type in Kit Pardue scene Europe, you know. And it'll be on YouTube.
I remember like obsessing about that, like when because I really did enjoy this movie a lot back then, trying to track down a copy of that movie. And it's like, I remember looking up every year. It's like, because you can look up on IMDb now and it's still there saying like in production or something. But I honestly don't think it fucking exists.
You reckon it's just a fun, just bullshit story they spin every now and again?
Because over the past 20 years, there's no, like through the internet, there's no one that's really talked about having seen it. So I think he just shows it to, if anything, to close personal friends because there's like a rights issue to it or whatever bullshit excuse to not release this thing. It's like too
I think it was something like, they couldn't get the rights to certain like music or something, and I'm like, what are you talking about?
You met Paul Oakenfold. He's right there. Yeah.
Well, it's also like it's like your home videos. What do you mean you don't have the rights to music? Like, what are you talking about?
Vinegar Syndrome. If you're listening,
come on,
let's fucking go.
Yes,
you could be heroes.
The film was assembled from 70 hours of video shot. It was intended as a connecting bridge between Rules of Attraction and Glamorama. Yeah, it definitely was. The film uses song lyrics to tell the story of how Victor Ward becomes involved with the Florence bombing and then plans a second bombing in Rome after sightseeing the ruins of the Colosseum and the Vatican.
And this was post 9/11.
So, well, actually, you're not. The movie, the End of the World Party scene.
Oh, I guess it's set to.
Is shot on September 11th, 2001. The terrorist attacks happened that day.
Because of this movie.
Because I wouldn't doubt. It was shot on a PAL Sony PD-150. And it's like, basically, so it uses song lyrics to tell the story. That's why. Because they've got a bunch of just songs that they don't have rights to. Avery described the film as ethically questionable.
Wow. If he is saying that, my God.
Wait, ethnically questionable?
Uh-oh.
So it gets even worse. It gets Bret Easton Ellis said of the film that for many legal reasons it'll never see the light of day, as it's basically 90 minutes of Kit Pardue actually in character seducing women throughout Europe.
Yeah.
And
So,
if I remember that montage correctly, a couple of them were underage.
And
so
it's like
maybe
another character that could have been played by James Franco.
right.
And
James
honestly,
almost signed on for that reason. He was like, hey, hold
I
on.
love like the mystery behind it. I don't think the actual thing could ever live up to
No.
the mystique of that film. You know,
I'm willing to bet it's like the ultimate version of like when you're hanging out with your friends and you're super high, you're super faded, and like the story is epic, but then when you actually go and like look at the photos,
Right.
it's just you guys at an IHOP, like you know, that's all it is. You're like, all right.
rules over my hammy. Oh, that's dead.
Yeah.
Okay, I've got it, but this is interesting. So, like, so they've got an IMDb. It does have a poster. During a Q&A in 2012, Roger Avery said that an unnamed French distribution company offered to pay for all the musical rights in exchange for exclusive distribution rights.
Of course, the French would.
It does sound
Such
like
a such a French thing.
It's like, it sounds fantastic. We're going to do it.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, that's kind of what we're kind of talking about. Is like this. This is the most interesting part about a sort of
by far. I mean, it makes me wish like the rest of the movie was like, because it doesn't feel like it's building up to that. It kind of, now granted, I was pretty like annoyed with the movie, so I was kind of checking my phone a whole lot throughout the film, but like there wasn't like a proper build up to like who's Victor, and I think if there was like more and more of like a build up to who is this guy, or
he's just
there was some
guy.
better connection, then like that moment hits, and
I did like the fact because we've got Shannon's character the whole time. He's talking about Victor, and she's got a picture of Victor, and she's saving her virginity for Victor, and she's like, he's just in that way been built up, and then he finally comes back. She finds out. She goes. She knocks on his door, and on the door it says, "Victor, by the way, the test was positive. Be careful." Right, which is hilarious. And he opens the door. He's got like a feather boa on. He's like, like got
sweaty,
makeup on. Yeah, and there's this like girl in the background, and
it's her roommate. Yeah,
and he has no idea who she is.
I'm sorry. Like she kisses him, and he's just like, okay.
I was actually that was making me laugh. Yeah, there was. I mean, I will say, like I said, there were a couple of scenes that made me laugh. One is Ian Somerhalder and his friend Dick singing George Michael on the bed,
which was improv. Like they just did that. And Roger Avery just started filming. He's like, "Fucking, let's do it."
What was cool? I read some more about that. Is that like they couldn't afford the rights, and then Roger Avery reached out to George Michael and said, "Dude." And he goes, "Oh, you can have it for free." Amazing. So because that seems very funny. And like I said,
yes,
the scene with Dick at dinner with Faye Dunaway as they're just getting drunk. The two drunk ladies just explaining away their sons.
Faye Dunaway and Swoosie Kurtz, who's in the next movie we're talking about.
That's right. Yes.
Pretty funny. Of all the movies we could have picked, both of them have Swoosie Kurtz in them.
Well, both of them also start with a questionable rape, but we'll get to that in a minute.
That's why this week is so miserable.
Only one you see.
The other one, yeah, you're right. One is a girl that is unconscious, and the other one is a woman raping a brain-damaged war veteran in hospital.
Both played for laughs.
Yes, in a way, yes. That's what I'm sort of like. Seriously, I'm with you, Will. Like seriously, I'm with you. Honestly, I mean, let's. There's not much about Rules to Attraction to talk about, apart from like if you want to, like Ryan said, if you want to go in a time capsule to the early 2000s and try to see the edgelord sort of edgy cinema, of the time. This will be very sort of reflective of the way the world was at the time.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, it is a hard movie to recommend, especially now if you haven't already seen it. But I still like this movie. I remember watching it a lot. I like the reverse filmmaking stuff, like when they go to that party and it's like the Burning Man type like effigy. And that burns in reverse, but their people are like moving forward. There's some cool stuff, but again, it's like trying too hard to be cool.
Yep.
Yeah. Yes. And also, I don't understand. At the end of the day, I'm like, I don't even understand why was anybody wanting to tell this story? Like, I'm fine with there being like an ambiguous message or it not being clear. But at the end of it, I'm just like, I don't know what we got out of any of this.
It's hard to say without ever having read the book too. Like,
but apparently Bret Easton Ellis is like, oh, this is the closest to my writing. Like,
yeah,
I'm just like, really?
Of all of his,
I don't want to read your writing.
Yeah. Of all of his adaptations, he's like, this is my favorite. Interesting. In both movies, I went, and it's the Roger Ebert review of the movies that like, kind of. I'll save the one for Garp in a second, but in this one, he's just like, a skillfully made movie about reprehensible people. Regarding, but by the end, I just felt a sad indifference.
Yeah,
and I'm like, that's pretty much how the movie makes you feel. Now, this next movie, is, I'm definitely not indifferent about it. But what the fuck, right? And Will, tell us just even the name of this bloody movie, and let's try and talk about it in some way.
It is 1982's Taking a Big Old Garp. My God,
the Garp Strikes Back.
Garp, yeah, it's so The World According to Garp, and I'm just gonna spoil it right now. I don't know what Garp's view on the world is at all.
Yes, that's a really like very
unclear.
Very little of this.
What is this movie?
Yeah, I think
this was bizarre.
It is such a weird movie. And now it is like so Robin Williams, and like you look at the poster and it looks like, oh, it's just Robin Williams and it's gonna be cute, and he's crashed a plane into a house. That's just what a wacky movie. And it kind of starts out, and so it's directed by George Roy Hill. A few years after, like, so he's done Butch and Sundance and stuff like this. He's done The Sting. This guy knows what's what. His movies get nominated for Oscars. This is the movie debut of Glenn Close, who is definitely crushing it in the movie. It's based off a novel from 1978. So I'm like, okay. And we read, we got John Lithgow, Glenn Close, both getting nominated for acting Oscars. And we're like, okay.
The cast is great in this movie.
Right.
Yes.
And I'd heard of the title, but this is such a movie I never would have watched, like, from that time period. And like, you get glimpses of like, Robin Williams is doing some stuff, but not really. And I think I was the first one to watch this movie, and I was texting you guys like, this is fucking weird. I even text, knowing Ollie, you'd never watch it, but I texted the group chat the VHS trailer. It's like a trailer that would pop on a VHS that you rented for another movie. Mm-hmm. Watch this trailer. I'm like, what the fuck is this movie? It's a floating baby in the air, and it's so bizarre, but not in a fun way. It's like a frustrating movie to watch.
Yes. It is a bizarre movie. I mean, like you said, you guys were texting, is like, I just open the text thread and all I just see is more baby dick. And I go, what? And then, like, honestly, from the very opening of the movie, I go, oh, I get it now. Right. Because it's like, it's another one of those movies that's trying to be smart, because it starts with the baby, so an adorable little naked baby being thrown up in the air. At least that's the way it's played, but they're just moving the camera.
It's on a plate glass, and they're just moving it up. You can't throw babies that slow. Trust me.
Yeah, they go much faster. And then it's sort of like it loops in it. The way the movie plays it ends with the same shot. So it's like, now the movie can start again. I go, no, it fucking can't.
Right.
Exit. Throw out window.
Not. Yeah.
Wait, I'm sorry. Which one of the 35 endings of this movie are you talking about?
Oh my God.
Because the whole third act of this movie, every 5 minutes, is a new ending.
Yeah.
None of them dodgeball worthy.
So
no.
Yeah. All right. So like, I wasn't lying when I said that this movie technically starts with a rape. So it's a kind of movie about a feminist, which is his mother, played by Glenn Close, who's only like 3 years older than him, but he has a child at the beginning. Anyway, she's like a nurse during World War II. There was a dying airman called T.S. Garp, technical sergeant, I think, who's been severely brain damaged. He had like a piece of metal go through his head. He could only say one thing, Garp. Except he did say one other word when she decided to rape him. But she decided that as a feminist...
Narp?
Yeah. She decides she wants to have a child, but she doesn't want a man. That was good, though. She doesn't want a guy in her life. So she goes to this brain-damaged man gets him excited, sits on him, and gets him to inseminate her, and the result is Garp. And it's like, I do like that when she told that story so matter-of-factly to like the dean of the college, he's like, you raped him. And she's like, oh, have a nice day. On about your day. And then never brought up again, right? Never mentioned again. And then Garp, so she seems to, isn't she like working basically like as a nurse or like a matron, if you will, in like a boarding school or,
right.
Like, which I've never mentioned.
Oh, what?
Yeah. This is what kind of school?
Like Harry Potter.
I mean, she
has
the whole conversation with her parents at their beach house.
That
I'd be more interested if they were two people who were not related to her at all. And she's just telling the story, but
I do like that part. Yeah. That was quite funny because those are like they were the guys from Cocoon.
Yes.
Both of them were from Cocoon, were they not? And but yeah, it's like so funny because like the waves are crashing, and so you just hear, you can't quite hear what she's saying, and then
he's got a hearing aid too.
Sperm, and then like the mother the faints, and I was like, oh okay.
Yeah.
But like from that point on, so then we get a little bit with the young Garp. He's like 9, and mother is like, he's getting interested in sex, and she's a little bit sort of like weird about it. But then it's when he grows up. So you got Robin Williams playing very young, like sort of like.
I will say the kid that the child actor they got to play young Robin Williams was like looked just like him. I was like, that was really fucking good casting.
Yeah, that was crazy.
That's where they introduced, because I think it's his like next door neighbor. I don't know if this whole thing takes place in this like boarding school or this neighborhood, but his like next door neighbor. It's a family that has 2 young daughters. One that he kind of befriends, and they have this like promiscuous little thing. They're flirtatious,
exploratory sort of like sexual adventures.
Yeah, then he's like mauled by a dog. Sure,
right.
The dog, the dog who lives to be 105 years old, apparently.
Right.
And then she's got the mute sister, but she's not mute, who's just kind of weird, and
that won't come up. That won't come up later.
that won't in any way come back in any way to bite us in the ass and just make us go, what the fuck is going on in this movie? But then like essentially like the big plot point is her mother is weird. Okay, his mother is weird. She's just a bit weird. And they're in like New York, so they leave. It's New Hampshire, but it's barely even ever mentioned. In both of these movies, barely even mentioned.
Well, he's in school. That's where he meets his future wife, right?
Yes,
because he joins the wrestling.
Yes, wrestling team, but they're both writers.
But that won't come up. Don't worry.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Well, she's a writer, but she's like, I will only marry a writer. He's like, what if the writer's also a wrestler? And anyway, so this is kind of like
the mother writes. He wants to be a writer in New York. Mother goes with him, and then she sees a prostitute, doesn't understand it's a prostitute, and then she's just weird. And she goes and hires the prostitute to then go and ask her questions about being a prostitute. But then is also like, okay, well, just you can fuck my son. But she goes on to write a book. So they both write a book. He writes a short story that's very sort of weird and funny and depressing. And she writes a book called Sexual Suspect.
She writes a fucking tome.
Yep.
Right.
Which is like a observation of lust and human sexuality. It's somewhat autobiographical, and she becomes this feminist icon.
Seemingly changes the entire world.
Changes the world. Yes. Yeah. So men, of course, are like offended by it. So they try to have her like shot or something like that. People try to kill her. And then again, it's all sort of like.
Well, she writes this book, it's immensely popular, and then is doing like a speaking engagement, and yet she's somehow still dressed like a nurse.
She's always dressed like a nurse.
Yeah. Yes. That's her thing. And then Garp, we're forgetting one major thing. Garp really, really wants to fly. It's this whole thing. He gets up on the roof as a little kid and falls off the roof, and they catch him. Anyway, but then but
that'll never come back.
This whole movie is like, I kept waiting and waiting and waiting for something like really bad to happen, because they were just kind of giving you these like little breadcrumbs. Like there's an assassination attempt on his mother at this speech that she's giving in New York, where guys in front of everybody is just murdered in a tree and falls out in front. That's pretty fucking funny. But like it's I don't even remember where I was going with this, but yeah,
Well,
it sets
well,
up all
neither
these
does the
breadcrumbs
movie.
that like nothing kind of happens.
No, no.
It's
Well,
like,
yeah.
yeah, it's a slice of life movie where the slice is the entire life, which is so bizarre. And there's no like, it really kind of feels like an improvisational movie a lot of the times because you keep feeling like, okay, I think I know where we're going with this. And then you jump forward in time and you're like, oh, we're not going that direction. Oh, this is going to do something. Oh, no.
It's spread very thin, like a
Right.
Yeah.
lot of
And
things.
things will happen like, not to jump ahead, but like their kid will die. And then we'll jump ahead and then who cares if that kid's gone? We'll make a new
We
kid.
have a new kid,
Yeah,
yeah.
and it's kind of, I know what you mean. I felt the same way, Will. And it's honestly, Ryan, you were describing the last movie kind of like vignette. That's how
Oh yeah,
I
yeah.
described Garp. Is
Hmm.
it's like, okay, here's a 5 minute scene. Here's another 5 minute scene that doesn't relate to that scene really.
But it
Here's
jumps
another
in
10 minute
time
scene.
quite a
Yeah,
bit. Like,
but like
Yeah.
it's not following a linear
no,
path, right? But what I mean is like not in a Tarantino way. I'm like going, no, it just moves us through time, but
yeah,
you'd never quite figure what's going on or why.
so,
As in, why do I care?
Yeah.
right.
It's not really Garp's. He might
What?
be the
Yeah,
title of
because
the movie, but is he
I,
even really the protagonist? He's
yeah,
just
I
a
mean,
guy.
the whole thing is like, he really wants to be a writer, and his mom writes this one book that changes the world. So he's kind of like left to write his little stories that are still good. Like
People
he's
really like
still
them.
getting
Mhm.
published. He's just constantly living, beneath the shadow of his mom. And, she then sets up this house for wayward women who
Right.
cut their tongues
Well, no,
out.
so there
Well,
you
not
go.
all of them.
Not specifically ever really addressed, but yes, she has a house on like the coast of New Hampshire?
I
Question
think that's the
mark.
same house from the beginning. It's like her parents'
But
It-
house,
maybe.
I think.
yeah.
But like, is that yes? It becomes kind of like a refuge for women. So if they want to like get away, or it's like I said, she's this feminist icon, and so it's a place for women of all kinds. But yeah, a group of them are these women who, in solidarity for an 11-year-old girl who was raped and had her tongue cut out, these women all cut their tongues out. And it's kind of like their militant feminism in a
Hmm.
way, right? So they're there. You have other people who are like hiding from their husbands because you remember like a guy comes to like get one, and
But
then
again, like that happens. That's just that one scene.
just a
Like,
scene, yes.
Yep.
And then the woman leaves and it's never really addressed. And then another one is John Lithgow, who plays a trans character who used
right,
to be an NFL footballer and is like he's great in the movie,
right, yeah.
but
Yeah.
at the same time, it's just I'm spending the whole time just going, what,
It's hard to
what?
care about anyone. So when you get to the
Yes.
bit, like Will was saying, like where their kid dies, you're like, yeah, all right, fine.
Yeah, so
Yeah.
exactly. You never really have a chance to because we're spending the whole time just going, what a bizarre movie. But yeah, so we get to a point of Garp and his girlfriend have got married and had a couple of kids. At this point in their marriage, so he's written his second book, and his 18-year-old babysitter is like, I love this book. And he goes, cool, let's fuck.
Yeah.
So then he bangs the babysitter. And then his wife is like, there's a guy, a student at her school, college, who's like, his assignment was, I want to bang you. And she's like, okay, let's bang. And so, the bit where, like, so Robin Williams eventually finds out, and like, he gets super upset that she's banging while never really addressing the fact that did they ever really address
No,
the banging
it
of the
never came
babysitter?
up again.
Right. So he just
Do you even like
reacts.
see it? Like, or do they pull off to
They
the,
just
because
put
they
they
get
pull
It's
they
okay,
park the
implied.
it's
car.
implied.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah,
for
there's
sure.
they don't even go to like
Right.
the Titanic route of sweaty hand on thing. No, it just parks the
Right.
car. But
Yeah.
he's like, and he's just got a pep in his step the next day, which is like, I banged an 18-year-old.
Right.
But the only thing that the only setup and payoff in the movie is actually the fact that they play the flying game with their car, where
Right.
when they come over the top
Mhm.
of the hill, he turns off the engine, and
And the lights, the headlights.
yeah, and the car
Yeah.
will just like freewheel down to the house, and he pulls it to a stop. Now, when I realized what was happening, that's why I was like, "Oh no way!" So basically, let me set this up for the people at home.
But even I'm sorry, but even before that, they're living in this very suburban neighborhood, and you get this constant. I think it happens like two or three times. There's just a red pickup truck that is flying through the
Right.
neighborhood. He's constantly playing outside on the lawn with his kids. In my mind, I'm like, I know what they're setting up to do, And then none of that happens.
No.
Like, I don't know if
Yep.
but it wasn't even implied as like a misdirect. It was so heavy-handed.
Right.
It's not even a misdirect because it doesn't make any sense. Like, why is this guy driving through the neighborhood?
I
like
mean,
that?
flying.
I mean, just like it's bizarre. That's what I mean. So many things about this movie are bizarre. But yeah, the most bizarre, if you want to understand this movie for whatever it's trying to be, is he's found out about his wife banging the boy, and he's like, you can't be having sex anymore. But of course, there's a young boy. He's like 20 something. He's obsessed. So he comes over, going, "Oh, please," and he's like, specifically, Robin Williams has said, "No, last time." You know what I mean? Yeah. And then the young boy comes in and goes, "Just one more time." And she's like, "No, but okay." And she gets in the car outside in the rain, and she's like, "Okay,
in front of their house, in their driveway,
fine, I'm gonna suck your dick." And so as this is happening, Garp is coming back with his two children, and they play the flying game. So they start freewheeling down the road towards.
And he's already like where I think it's important to understand like where his mental state is, because like he takes his kid to the movies, he knows all this is going on. He leaves mid-movie to call his wife, she doesn't answer, so he's like kind of freaking out at this point. So I can understand that from a character perspective.
But so then like you like, I mean, I was texting you guys going,
the way it happens,
there's no way that this is about to happen. And then like, the car comes up and it rams the car in front, and then
the push zoom into the kid's face.
That's what I want to talk about, because the kid goes, "Oh, it's like this is the best time," or, "Oh, we're flying," and it's just a strange freeze frame on the child, and then we get a strange push in, and then you're like going, "Okay." And then it kind of cuts to black and then moves us forward in time. And you're like, did they just kill that child? And did she just bite off that guy's penis?
That's the only thing, because there's a line in that comes up where...
like a couple of minutes later, John Lithgow, right?
I think John Lithgow says
but it's kind of played for a laugh. But at the same time, we just killed their child, right? They're living at home, but like
their new kid's got an eye patch.
Child lost an eye.
It's Christmas.
Robin Williams has got a broken jaw.
Yeah.
They're all in the house together. And then, John Lithgow makes a joke about, at least it could have been, at least mine was surgically removed.
That was the line,
I think, it's even worse than that, because, that's the only time they were like really acknowledging it, is like John Lithgow's throwaway line. The kid who dies, I don't think he died. I think he was erased from existence, because he is never mentioned. They never mentioned that a kid died, that they lost him. Nobody acts like a kid died. I
thought the other sibling does mention it, though. I thought he said...
The closest they come to mentioning him, really, is when finally his jaw isn't wired shut and he can talk.
Right.
They've still got a tongue, and he's like, "I miss you." And they're like, "Let's just have another baby." And that fixes everything.
Yeah, that's all he said, is another baby. They already have a kid. I'm telling you, the kid was Thanos. Like, he was just erased. Like, that's how bad that car accident is the whole world forgot this kid existed.
It is, it doesn't make, like, in the movie, these parents, they are barely distraught. They are, but they seem more upset about the sex, to be honest. And the argument. And but their solution is, let's just have another baby. And it's like, "Oh, I love you too."
Like, if you were that couple, and your partner, even if you were cheating, crashed into you and killed one of your children, would you then like be like, "Well, while we're recovering from our injuries, I'll be in the same house as this person"? Like, what? Yeah, what are you talking about?
Hang on. Am I in New York, and is my partner a ninja?
Well, okay, wait a minute. Hold on now.
You raise a very good point, right?
Like, they're so brazen about every heavy thing that happens in it, and yet none of it has any weight.
Yeah.
Like, exactly. I mean, like, honestly, I mean, this you could write an entire movie about that scene and the aftermath. Is that you as a pair, you are both equally responsible for killing that child. One of you for doing that game, the other for fucking sucking off a 20-year-old. Like, in this, there's so much drama in that. And like, from just like, think of it from a marriage, from a parenting standpoint, you could explore that. That could be a whole kickoff of a
it's Lars von
Right.
it's Lars von Trier's it's the what's the devil movie?
Nymphomaniac or whatever. The other one.
No, it's
Yeah.
the
Oh,
oh my god.
The one
Is
that I've
Lars
heard
Van
terrible
Trier's New York Ninja. Yeah, I know what you're saying.
But like, you know what I mean? And it's like there's so much, and there would be so much trauma, there would be so much sexual trauma, there would be so much trauma about their children. And then like you said, you've got the kid, the other kid that loses an eye, basically kind of making pirate jokes.
He gets a glass eye later.
Yeah, they're just joking about the different glass eyes you can have.
In the next scene.
Yes!
Yeah.
It's just like, what is this movie made me angry.
I had to rewind it because I kept it like it skips so abruptly that I had to make sure I wasn't like missing something.
Mm-hmm.
Right. Yeah. No, it's so bizarre. I mean, and even the kid, like just imagine you lost your brother like that.
Yeah.
Like he's just so like, what if my glass eye was a snow globe? Isn't that fun? Your brother's dead, dude. Like, what's going on?
Your mum had a sausage hanging out of her mouth. You know what I mean? It's just like, dude, like, what's going on?
That's pretty gnarly to think about, though.
Yes, it is, but it's just a joked about throwaway line. You know,
but delivered it expertly.
It's just, this is, you know, like, I just wonder what all the actors, you know, like, because people are saying, like, you can sometimes tell when you're on a set when a movie's, like, gonna suck. But, like, everyone's just, like, they're trying. Like I said, it got nominated for Oscars.
I will say,
like,
you mentioned
is great.
You mentioned the bit where the airplane just casually crashes into the house. The guy that gets out of the plane is the director of this movie.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
He actively tried to kill himself. Making this turd.
He's trying to end this movie.
But like I was thinking, like, the problem is that they cast like such a famously comedic actor in this relatively serious film. I know it's like billed as a comedy, but would that have made it any better if they cast like a more serious person in this role?
I don't think so. I think because Robin Williams, we know that he can play everything. You know,
and he's got his moments where he like has comedic bits, but he's not full like Robin Williams.
It's never full Robin Williams.
No,
but I mean, like,
right.
I honestly, I feel like maybe that this movie could have used it. Because it's just not selling.
It doesn't lean one way or the other. If it was
Never.
a full-on comedy, sure. If it was a full-on drama, like what's the one the other Robin Williams one that we did?
1 hour.
Popeye.
We did Insomnia. Yeah, exactly.
No, the one with the Matt Damons and the.
Oh, Good Will Hunting.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. God, we'll edit that out. I was freezing that time. Jesus.
But let's. I mean, you know, like, you've heard us talking about this movie now for a little while, and it's like, and it's crazy and it's weird and it jumps around. And if you think the weirdness is done on this movie in the last 10 minutes or so, 15 minutes or so.
I paused this movie.
Hell.
I don't know how many fucking times. This was it's maybe just about like an actual 2-hour film. It took me a full day to watch this fucking movie.
I'll tell you what, I had a funny story with these movies because we had it on the text thread, and so we had to push a week because Ryan went out of the country.
It was 4th of July. It was America's birthday.
So on the text thread, I had read your text message as let's really push. I have to leave tomorrow, so I'm like, oh shit, we have to record tonight.
Push to record.
Yeah, as opposed to let's push it a week.
Oh,
I sat down on a day, like, I was like, oh shit, and
I'm so sorry.
I double barreled these movies back to back, right? No pausing or anything. I got to get through them because I had 6 hours until we recorded, and then I'm like, then I check my phone and reread and go, oh. So I was like, it was so bad.
I just picture you like Clockwork Oranging it, like while the
one in each eyeball.
Yeah, it was awful experience, just awful experience. And I'm doing this at like, is it like 1 o'clock in the afternoon?
I'm so sorry. I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy.
Oh, dude, it was like torture, absolute torture, and that torture continued because finally,
the only joy I got out of watching Garp was knowing that we were going to get to talk. Like, we all will have this shared trauma now.
That we can get it out.
This is therapy. Like, we're not sponsored by BetterHelp. This is our BetterHelp. It's not working.
No. It's a bad time. This is a bad time.
So there's a subplot of the movie is that Robin Williams has a bit of a problem with these ultra feminists who've cut out their tongues. and he goes like, it's a bit stupid, it's a bit weird, and he actually sort of like he writes a book about that, or doesn't he? Or write and basically,
Yeah.
And they barely have an interaction together. He interacts with the first woman who writes on a note. He learns about what happens. Then a football is thrown towards them. Then the feminists all decide to leave.
yeah.
Like they're like,
I don't know.
that wraps that up, I
But
guess.
yeah, he writes a book about it, which really pisses off the feminists. And then, so then, God. And so the mother, who's been like, I guess, made as much money as she needs, she finally decides to go out and help somebody run for office, and she does a public speech. And you're like, wait a minute.
In
You'd
the
see it coming
same
from a
place
mile
on
away.
the same
Yeah.
stage.
And it's like suddenly it's in the line of fire, but instead of Clint Eastwood, it's a
John
transsexual John Lithgow.
Yeah.
And like he sees the gun coming, but no, okay. So yeah, spoiler alert, but honestly, never watched this fucking movie. Glenn Close gets blown away, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? Cut to funeral. Well, like, you know, like, and then
well, hang on.
yeah, one funeral. But then it turns out that they're gonna have like they're gonna have like a big thing for her. But because
It's
she
only
was
women allowed. Yeah.
only women allowed.
Yeah, which like even within
That's
the logic of this
absurd.
movie, yeah, where they're like, no, sorry, you can't go to your own mother's funeral. I'm like, in what universe?
Right.
Like, would that? You're like, no, you people aren't allowed. Like, what are you even talking about?
It's impossible to overstate how fucking massive of a social icon. Like she's bigger than Oprah at this point. Like it's fucking crazy. And it's been since this one book has come out, it's been many years.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's still in publication. I get, but
But
still
yeah,
it's like
it's a radical man kills her for having thoughts. Okay. So then they have this, you know, the funeral. So what do?
prequel to Mrs. Doubtfire.
Yes, they
Yes.
do the prequel to Mrs. Doubtfire. They dress him up in drag. He sneaks in.
Honestly
but then-
thought he was just going to show up. What I did not expect was him to be in full drag as a woman and for someone to fucking recognize him.
Yeah, and was it
It's-
the mute
it's-
sister
It's
Yeah,
his
so-
arch nemesis, the mute sister.
who just comes back for no reason an hour and 45 minutes later, and then she kind of recognizes him, and it's like it was exactly like Donald Sutherland in Revenge of the Body Snatchers movie.
Yeah.
Yeah,
the
yeah.
pointing and
That's
shit.
got to be the YouTube thumbnail, by the way. It's all
Fucking-
this
yeah. The torches, the pitchforks come out. He tries to escape. This is the same scene, I think. He tries to escape through a
Right.
back room. Honey Bunny is there, and it's like, hey, come this way.
Yes, so he's
Yes.
escorted. Yes, that's why I knew it. She's escorted. Honey Bunny from Pulp Fiction.
Yeah.
And that's when like,
I know her as the villain from Star Trek
I was
Picard in
gonna say-
season 3.
She's also the sister in So I Married an Ex-Murderer.
okay, but Honey Bunny worked. But then like she doesn't say come this way. She says because she can't talk. Because then we go, oh, big reveal. This was the 11-year-old girl, and she's got the book, and she's like basically saying, "Thanks, bro. Thanks for fighting."
Yeah,
my
because he was
corner."
trying to find her was the whole
But she's
thing.
famously, there's no photos of her. She's sort of become a recluse, not so much a recluse, but for her own privacy,
Yeah.
has just like changed her name and everything else. So he sort of gets this moment of, oh, okay, well, I didn't get to sort of bury my mom, but at least this feminist agrees with me. So as a man, have
Finally.
been validated by this woman who was raped as an 11-year-old, and I finally won over my
How
mother.
would he
I
know?
guess.
Like, oh, because she's like, she holds the book and she's like,
Yeah, so
okay.
I want to make sure
Which-
we're making I want to make sure we're making it clear. Like the thing is she was a victim of this horrible attack where she had her tongue cut out. These feminists who cut out their tongues in solidarity, which she did not ask for. Like that's the
Right,
big thing. And she even, I think, it's said that she puts out a letter where she's like, I don't condone this. Like I was attacked.
Please stop.
Don't do this. So Robin Williams is writing a book like from that perspective
Right.
to be like Ellen doesn't, that's her name, Ellen doesn't want this. So the movie comes so close to saying something interesting about especially how people on the left like can be almost like virtue signaling so much.
Yes.
Yep.
And forgetting like what the actual issue is. The movie comes so close to saying something but never does. And
And then it
instead you're
cuts its own tongue out.
yeah, exactly.
Despite
and so,
his face. Yeah.
yeah. So that's what was frustrating me is I'm just watching the movie and I'm like, we're almost at a point. Like we've almost arrived at something, but then the movie just forgets and because that never comes back again.
And there's like an hour left in the movie.
Right?
Well,
God.
and then, I mean, the thing is like, if you think the movie can't get any fucking weirder, what then happens? Then we cut to he's now training, he's coaching, he's back with his wife. They've reconciled, they've had their new child and forgotten about the dead one. She no longer eats sausages, she's a vegan. He's coaching wrestling. And then, so you're like, oh, I guess this is where the movie's going to end. No? How does the movie end, guys?
His wife goes to, it's the same exact gym that he was training in when she first showed up to like watch him wrestle. And he's now coaching these kids. It's almost the exact same scene for scene thing.
Yeah.
And then she's sitting there watching him and someone just walks up and I think she's wearing a nurse's outfit,
it's
right?
just like his mother would have been.
Yeah.
And fucking blasts him.
Yep.
8 or 9 times.
Yep.
I don't fucking know.
It's his arch nemesis again. It's that girl with the glasses. Yeah.
It's Pooh. That's her name. He goes Pooh, and she blows him away. So
That's
yes,
right.
it's the militant, voyeuristic girl that watched him play around as a kid, didn't turn up, comes back an hour and 45 minutes later with her tongue cut out. Now she's a militant feminist, and she fucking blows him away in the gym. He doesn't die, but he's gonna, and his wife gets him in the helicopter, and much like Ryan says, he finally gets to fly. Credits. And I'm just
baby dick credits.
Baby dick credits.
Yeah, because of course we got to bring it back to
So as I'm just there with my mouth agape, yes. Then the director goes, "Oh,
a garp. Your mouth is a garp."
I was a garp, and then yes, he brings back the naked baby being thrown in the air like it's so fucking clever, and rolls the credits. And I was honestly furious at this point, just apoplectic. I was just like, what?
I was so
nominated? Mad. What is this movie? Why did I just watch 2 movies in a row? I hate movies again. It's like
movies are stupid. Yeah.
And now knowing that you watch both of these movies back to back in the same day is like in a scramble to record this.
On a Tuesday, Tuesday afternoon, guys.
Oh my God.
Yeah, good God. Yeah, I wish someone had come in and shot me, I tell you, by the end of it.
It was just, it's so out of nowhere. Like, it just doesn't make sense. In my mind, I was like, okay, yeah, it was the girl with the glasses. Because, you see her, I think, 3 times total in this movie.
One's played by a young girl. And then, it's...
And then she's in the bushes and she tells her that he's fucking someone else.
Yeah.
That's the second time. And then later when she's like, I guess I gotta kill him. Like,
it's never quite explained. Like I guess because she's crazy, but like never explained like why does she hate Garp so much? She is constantly like trying to get him killed by the dog, trying to get him caught, and I'm just like, he doesn't do anything to you. Like he barely knows you exist.
She should have left him glitter, perfume scented purple letters in his mailbox.
Right. There you go.
There we go. That's how you make a movie. By the way, I got to mention that character. Again, that felt like, not to bring it back to that movie for too long.
But let's do it because we didn't talk about that. What happens to that character?
Yeah. The anonymous love letters that James Vanderbeek gets. It's the entire time I was thinking it was Ian Somerhalder. I thought it was him. But then it turns out, no, it's this character. Do we see? You said we see her at some point.
Yeah, she's at the lunch line in the beginning.
4 times.
This is how checked out of this movie I was. When she showed up on screen, I'm like, who is this?
It's intended for you not to know.
You're supposed to ask that, and then you go back and watch the movie, and you go, "Oh, you've seen it," but then I just saw it. And I know I've seen the movie before.
I appreciate the confidence of the filmmaker that I'm going to go back to watch this. That's.
But then I'm glad we're talking about it because then she does this horrific thing. She kills herself in a fucking bathtub. Then her friend finds her. It's in the same house.
It's not even friend. It's just Shannon finds it. But the whole point is that they're completely indifferent. None of them know her. No one really
so
cares.
Much so that James Vanderbeek is so distraught that he's learning that it's not Shannon Sussman, he doesn't know, but she turned him down. So what happens? She goes to talk to him and he pretends to fucking kill himself. Like he's got ketchup and shit. Yeah. It's so fucking crazy.
God,
honestly, these movies are
just found her friend dead in a fucking bathtub to go and then see that played for a laugh is fucking awful.
I did not understand why any character was attracted to any character in the movie.
Oh wait, because he tried to kill himself. He tried to hang himself in the thing. And
yeah,
it's pretty funny.
It's just. And as you turn around on the scene, you're like, never mind, it's actually a good scene.
I rescind my previous statement. This movie rules. Yeah.
But yeah, these two movies are. I mean, I remember like this. Yes, that's one way of putting it. And then like, yeah, when it came to Garp, I was like, it's like, what the hell? Mrs. came home, and I'm like, what? She goes, oh, I think I've seen this. Is that the one where he gets shot at the end? I go, yeah. He goes, yeah, that is not a good movie. And I was like,
why did you tell me?
You're thinking of Mrs. Doubtfire. Yeah.
But like, yeah, these two movies, Rules of Attraction is filled with a bunch of awful people, awful characters, and yes, that's what the book is about. But at the end of it, you're like, what's the point? And this one is the same. And kind of like I was saying, is like I remember sort of looking up about this stuff, and Roger Ebert said the same thing, and he boiled it down, and he goes, but when the movie was over, my immediate response was not all what it should have been. All I could find to ask myself was, what the hell was that all about? And I'm like, yes, Roger. Yes, he like Roger nailed it on both of them. I read
the title, the title is even like I'm so angry at this movie as a whole. Like I can't. Normally we try and find the positive. Like what could have maybe made this movie better, and I don't think anything. Like this movie is just fucking soup to nuts, a turd.
Yeah, both these movies were just very unpleasant to watch. I had a terrible time watching both these movies, but Garp especially is just because it's so weird too. Like
it's so weird,
but it's trying to be weird
but not in a fun way.
Without even being a fun weird, exactly.
No, it's
not
like
a frustrating weird.
It's so bizarrely like straight down the middle that it to the film's detriment does nothing well.
Mm-hmm. Yeah,
there's nothing. I'm trying to think back. There's really nothing I enjoyed about this movie. I will say, like, the acting in it is great. Glenn Close is great. Glenn Close is great. Robin Williams is great. John Lithgow is great. They're all good, but they're still wrapped up in a bad movie.
It's I think they're just we've been talking about it, but it's like, all right, guys, this is your 5-minute scene, and they act the shit out of these scenes, but it doesn't have any. The character doesn't move through the movie in any way. It doesn't have any growth. It doesn't feel like
it's impossible to care about any of these characters.
Well, because we don't know what's happening half the time.
The only character I liked in Garp was I liked John Lithgow's like trans character. It was great,
and I think it was,
but it was a wasted character in this movie. Like,
it was the first openly trans character in a movie.
Trans, I think so. Yes, because there'd been a lot of like sort of drag. Tootsie and stuff like that,
right.
So it'd been kind of happening. It was very
where it's like acknowledged that.
Yeah.
And the movie doesn't treat them like a freak. Like the movie is just like, no, this is just a character. So massive props for that. That like in 1982, they're like, well, we're going to treat her like she's an actual person because she is, and so we're going to treat that with respect.
But it's never really. I mean, the only one that ever really talks about is John Lithgow. You know what I mean? Like going, no, I used to play for the NFL. You know who? I played for the Philadelphia Eagles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Too many jokes where it's like the joke is like, oh, it's big, strong John Lithgow, so we need her to be the one to knock people down and be the bodyguard.
He bodyguards around. The other thing that I'm just now realizing again, sorry, like everything is now triggering me. It's the original short story that Robin Williams' character Garp comes up with, like the magic gloves, right?
Right.
He's in New York. He's in the city. He encounters this couple. The woman goes in the house. She drops the glove. He finds it, and then he has this kind of like this vision for the story where he picks up the glove and looks up, and it's a piano suspended.
Yeah,
and the guy plays the piano. Then he falls off the thing, and they're like, "No, he's okay." And then the piano falls on him. Like,
right?
Very like, how am I like? That's the only thing I like took out of this was like, what this?
It was like a Monty Python sketch.
But terrible.
Yes,
none of it. Nothing in this movie was executed well.
That scene specifically was like your least funny friend trying to explain a Roadrunner cartoon.
Yeah.
And you're just like,
no, it's a painting. It's a painting on the wall. Like you just have to see it. You have to see it.
Yeah, sure, Glenn, got it. Yeah.
No, but it says meep meep. And he runs real quick, and then it goes, ooh.
It was that, and I did like the bit when the plane flies into the house, and Robin Williams is like, well, now our house is, like, disaster-proof. I'm like, what are you fucking talking about, man? You have to rebuild that whole shit. Like,
right.
It's crazy.
I'd go watch Patch Adams, you know.
Yeah, that's the big takeaway. Watch any other Robin Williams movie. Go watch 1 Hour Photo.
Go watch
You'll
1
have
Hour
fun.
Photo.
Yes,
Yeah.
1 Hour Photo is a barrel of laughs in comparison to
Yeah.
this pile of shit.
He says Neon Genesis Evangelion so funny in that movie.
Yeah, honestly, I mean, this was. I'm also like, you know, when we were texting about it, we thought about should we change it, because these movies barely even like come close to New Hampshire. I mean, to be honest, Rules of Attraction is just set in a college of white kids, but
They never even mention.
shot in California, not a single mention. And then it's an hour and 20 minutes into The World According to Garp before someone mentions New Hampshire. It's one line.
Yeah.
And like, honestly, a whole chunk of the movie is I want to move to New York City.
Right.
So like fundamentally, which is really crazy to me, but Jumanji is sort of like miles ahead. So Robin Williams defeats Robin Williams. I'm like, these movies.
Oh yeah.
They gave nothing New Hampshire. Like that's the one thing that I was like really like, oh man, not even slightly have we got into this state.
Tough too, because once you get into that pocket of the country,
The New England.
it all kind of bleeds together. Like, be it New Hampshire, Connecticut, Maine, they all kind of fit in this weird bubble.
Yeah. It was funny when I texted my friends who live in New Hampshire, Michael and Lucy. I know you're listening. When I texted them, their response was like, "Why'd you do those movies? Why didn't you do Jumanji? And what about Bob?" And I'm like,
We did.
Thank you for listening to season 1.
But you're not wrong.
Yeah, you're not. God, I was hoping to watch those again instead of this.
And did you yell at them for not suggesting In the Mouth of Madness? Like, what the fuck is wrong with you?
Yeah, a movie we've never seen before. We should watch that next time.
Oh man,
that was going to be my. I've told the guys this, but I was going to pitch that every season we should just do In the Mouth of Madness and act like we've never seen it before.
So I mean, honestly,
after these 2 movies, it's not a bad idea.
I don't want to give these movies any more like time at all. Is it? So we're officially recrowning Jumanji
easily
as the movie to define New Hampshire, at least until we come around and watch In the Mouth of Madness again.
Hell yeah! Hell yeah!
So which gets us to the point. So like we talk about this, some states have massive deep rosters. New Hampshire doesn't have an incredible amount. Because when it comes to sort of like the other ones we could have done, I brought this one up as well, Hotel New Hampshire, which, Rob Lowe, Jodie Foster, we were like, okay, we never heard about that, but all right. Apparently like Mr. Deeds.
Yeah, we could have picked from one of 3 Adam Sandler movies.
Yeah.
Mr. Deeds, Click,
8 Crazy Nights and Click.
Wow.
There's not an incredible Affliction. Like I said, we've hit some of the big ones.
Yeah. I mentioned bringing up the Nicole Kidman movie To Die For.
Yep.
But once I looked into it more, I'm like, I don't really know if any. I think it was all shot in Canada, but I don't think any of it was really. Maybe it's set there. I don't know.
There's even
maybe Google's been lying to us this whole time.
A Jack Nicholson movie, The Last Detail.
That maybe we got to pick that next time. That's kind of a classic.
Yeah, so. Randy Quaid sentenced to 8 years in a New Hampshire prison. Okay.
All right. Are you just reading the news, or is that
breaking news?
Yeah, Carol Kane. She plays the character of young whore.
Naturally.
So
I was up for that role.
And honestly, even if it's the new Jumanji, we have movies that we can do. Murder in New Hampshire. Which looks like a true story, which looks like Helen Hunt. We
thought we were bringing some prestige cinema. Boy, were we!
Yeah,
we got way off.
Some self-important bollocks. But I'll tell you what, guys, I'm very excited because the state that we're going to next week is the state of Ohio. Now, the champion is Tommy Boy, a movie that it was a banger. Even if it's it was a great one, but there is a movie that has a special place in our heart because since the start of this podcast, we've only all been in the same place once, and we watched 2 movies. One of which Will and I have still never forgiven Ryan for, which was Terrifier, and then he follows it up with this movie. Ryan, what is the movie that was a joy to watch? Really surprisingly, and I cannot wait to watch it again.
Same.
So Damien Leone started out as
No, oh god, I'm gonna hacksaw Ryan in half. Let me tell you.
Taint first. Let's go. No, we are going to the fucking devil's backbone.
Yes,
we
we
are
are.
doing
Yeah.
Airborne, the
Yes.
quintessential rollerblading movie from the 90s.
And we were like, and honestly, Will and I were not really happy with Ryan, and then he selects
Yeah.
this movie, and we're like, really, Ryan, a 1993 movie about rollerblading? And we started, and Will and I are making joke after joke. We're just
Starring Seth Green and Ian McClurg.
We're
Right.
laying into the movie, and by the end of the movie, we're like, this movie fucking rules.
A young Jack, I think it was Jack Black's first feature film, if I remember.
I think so.
But
Yeah.
it features a genuinely astounding end scene race on rollerblades that is
That's
just
amazing.
yeah. I can't wait to rewatch it. I'm gonna get my kids
Same.
to watch it. Guys, come in.
Hell yeah.
Yep, we're gonna watch this. It's ridiculous, but we're
That was
watching
great.
it. So
Hell yeah.
Airborne, we're absolutely doing that, and then we've also discovered a movie that honestly, it's giving In the Mouth of Madness vibes. I'm a little bit excited about it. And then when Will saw the name of the director, his mouth dropped open. So Will, tell
His mouth was a garp?
another agarping. Tell us about this other movie that is currently rated at 32%.
Hell yeah.
All from me. Yeah.
This is so this is Ghost in the Machine.
I thought you were going to pick up the Steelbook or something. You're looking down.
No, because I wanted to get the director's name right. Rachel Talalay, who directed Tank Girl, one of my favorite B movies of all time. So I am stoked for Ghost in the Machine.
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, was shot in Arizona.
Tango.
Yeah, I forget.
I believe
feel
so.
like-
I know
think
it has
that was.
Ice-T as a mutant dog person. I remember seeing that movie. I just love Laurie Petty. But yeah, Ghost in the Machine, a techno thriller that seems to be some sort of movie about a serial killer that can then take over technology, a la what was it? The Maximum Overdrive. So it seems
Yes.
like a
Yeah.
Maximum Overdrive
There's-
with a bit
there's-
of like, In the Mouth of Madness and a bit
There
of
was
Freddie
there was a movie like that in the late 80s, early 90s called Shocker, where they send
Yes.
a serial killer to death by electric chair, and then he becomes electricity, I think.
Yeah.
And what state was this set in?
The state of awesome. Yeah, no, I know that. God, it started. I forget the guy who plays the Shocker. God, I want to say
We'll Google it and we'll talk about it next time.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah, Ghost Machine. I'm so stoked for this.
Yeah, no, I'm up for it. So we're on our non-sponsor sponsor, who one day will sponsor us. Just watch. It turns out that you can rent Ghost in the Machine everywhere. It's actually a very available movie, which is quite surprising.
Which is crazy, yeah.
Considering
Yeah.
the review. And then Airborne isn't available anywhere.
It's free on YouTube.
It is. I think they are both free on YouTube. So if you're looking for a movie to watch, because yes, Ghost in the Machine is currently on Karen Allen's YouTube.
No, it's a completely different movie. We're not even 100% sure if it's Karen Allen's YouTube channel. Karen, if you're out there, let us know.
Come on the pod and let us know. Yeah,
do
yeah.
a plug.
dude,
Come on
seriously.
the pod, have a few laughs.
But yes, Airborne. Yes, it's on YouTube. It's. Trust me, guys. I don't know why, but it is a good movie.
Was Jake and Adam also with us when we watched that?
I think Jake was. I don't know if Adam was.
But banger, absolute banger. Can't wait to. So, guys, make sure you join us next time as we sit to the state of Ohio. If I can recommend anything more, it's please, for the love of God, don't watch either of the movies that we talked about today. Not even a hate watch.
No.
Maybe
just watch Airborne twice.
Yeah, that's 100% what you should do.
That'd be styling.
As always, if you haven't subscribed, please do. It's great. We're slowly picking up subscribers, which is great. Drop in the comments. Give us a suggestion. No, we don't need you to work on our search engine optimization. Send us a suggestion on our Facebook page. You can find us at the United States of a Movie. You can find me as Ollie Pettigrew on Facebook, or as That Englishman in Texas, where you'll find me on Instagram and TikTok, where I talk about all things Texas. You can find Will as Entitled Willennial. I'm very happy that Will is now back to constantly posting on the shelf. So if you want to just explore and learn about movies, he has an insane movie collection and a great movie knowledge. So
I can't wait to see his Airborne video.
Oh my God, I can't.
Airborne not available on disc.
He's gonna do it on rollerblades. When has that ever stopped you?
Good point.
That's
Will.
true. That's true.
Go and find that Steelbook 4K. And Ryan, you could also find Ryan's designs as Rhino Digital, RYNO Digital. He's got some great movie posters, some great Formula One designs, and he's got some great fun random designs that we've come up with during the podcast. So make sure you check them out. Guys, I hate you for picking these movies. I had to watch them both back to back, and I'm glad that we finally, like you said, got to get it out, because I just feel like I just got to go take one more shower and it's all behind me. But honestly, maybe we should do a group watch of Airborne later. That would be a good time. So all that being said, guys, thank you for joining us. And as always, from me, Ollie, from Ryan, and from Will, thanks for joining us for this episode of the United States of a Movie podcast.
Garp.